Hello friends, welcome to Code Crush Coding. In this video we are going to learn about recursion functions. So what are recursive functions in Python? Python also accepts function recursion, which means a defined function can call itself. Till now what we have learned, like we define a function and we call the function in our code, but the recursive function, inside the function we can call the function itself. So it means that a function calls itself. Let's see in code how we can make use of these recursive functions. So this is my Python file, recursive function.py. So let's say we declare here one function diff. Let's say decrease is my function name, decrease, and which takes one parameter num, and if num is greater than 0, then what we need to do, we need to print that num, and let's say we call this function here decrease. Let's say we pass here 5. Let's run this code first. So we are getting here 5 as we have passed 5 and which is greater than 0, then we are getting 5. Now what I wanted to do, I want to call, if that num is greater than 0, I want to call this function again inside this function only. So I can directly call this function decrease and I will say num minus 1. Let me run this code first. So see, now what we are getting here, we are getting here values 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So how it's behaving? So first time we are calling this function decrease of 5, then it will get the value num as 5. As 5 is greater than 0, it will print 5. Then it will decrease num minus 1. So what is currently num? Num is 5. So 5 minus 1, 4. So now this function will get called decrease of 4. So here it will come 4. So 4 is greater than 0, then it will print 4. So here we are getting 4. And then we'll again call the function decrease of 4 minus 1, which is 3. So in this way, the function is calling itself. So that is the use of recursive functions, where you need to call the function inside the function itself. So one of the practical implementation of this recursion function is factorial of a number. Let me show you. So how we get any factorial of a number? Let's say you want to get the factorial of 5. So in that case what we get? So 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So any number factorial can be received when we decrease that number by minus 1 and it continues till 1. So let's generate the code of factorial with the help of recursive functions. So let me remove this part here. Now let's say we get here diff factorial. Factorial is the function name. So it will take one parameter num. Say if num equal to 1, if that number is equals to 1 or equal to 0, in that case the factorial is 1. So we will just return 1 here. But if the number is other number other than 1 and 0, in that case we will provide here the logic. So what we will do here, we will just pass print. We will first print that number, print num, and we will again pass the factorial. Here we can directly say return num into factorial of num minus 1. And let's say we call this function. Let me first declare one variable output, and which will call this function factorial. Let's say we want the factorial of 5, and then we will print here output. Let's run this code now. So see, we are getting here factorial of 5 as 120. So how the code is behaving? So we want the factorial of 5. So as 5 is not equal to 1 or 0, it will execute the else part, and in else it will print the num, which is 5. Then it will return num into factorial num minus 1. So 5 into 5 minus 1, 4. So 4 will, the loop will be executed for 4. In similar way 3, 2 and 1, and in final output we will get the multiplication of all these numbers like 5 into 4 into 3 into 2, which will be 120. If I say here 6, now what will be the multiplication? It will be 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 6. So basically 120 into 6, which will be 720. Let's run this code. So see, we are getting here 720. So this is the use of recursive functions when you need to call a function inside the function itself. So that's it in this video. We will cover another topic in next video. Thank you for watching.